welcome to another episode. I'm Mike Monticello.
I'm Emily Thomas.
And I'm John Linko.
So today we're going to be talking about the redesigned 2026 Nissan Sentra, our first impressions of this car, based on a car that we borrowed from Nissan, as well as one that we purchased for our test fleet. The borrowed one was a SR, the higher trim, and we have an SV. So we usually start this off with three things we think people need to know about this Sentra. And I'd say the first thing is it's now Nissan's lowest priced car because the Versa has been discontinued, so it's no longer available. So now you've got the Sentra as the cheapest, which the base S starts at $22,600, and even the top SL comes in at just under $28,000. Second thing is it's actually not a radical overhaul. It's more like a significant freshening. The 149 horsepower powertrain basically carries over, a little bit updated, new exterior and interior styling, some new displays and controls. Ugh. And the third thing is, dude, where's my hybrid? Because hybrids are notably absent from Nissan's lineup, other than the upcoming Rogue plug-in hybrid, which is basically a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. When you look at compact sedans from Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, they all trounce the fuel economy of this Sentra and really don't cost that much more. So that's kind of the first three things to talk about. But so let's get into what we like so far about this Sentra. Emily, I'm going to start with you. What are you liking so far?
So the thing that I like the most about the Sentra is at this price point, you can get so much safety. And to me, that's super important, right? Like I lead our vehicle safety programs, and you get standard AEB with pedestrian detection, highway speed AEB, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic warning. You get standard side torso airbags for your rear occupants, standard pretensioners and load limiters in the rear outboard seatbelts, a standard rear belt minder, a standard rear occupant end of trip reminder. There's so much standard safety that comes at this price point compared to its competitors, right? Like you mentioned how, Honda and, Toyota, they also have similar vehicles. Yep. And there's some advantages there too, but they will make you pay extra for blind spot warning and rear cross traffic warning.
Or you can't even get it on the base model.
Right.
Of some, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's an optional system. And so I love that Nissan does a really good job at taking these mainstream vehicles and putting in proven safety equipment so that it's affordable to everybody. The hiccup is that we have to see how it actually plays out in the implementation, right? So the way that they actually tune these systems to be effective in the vehicle to reduce injury and things like that is going to prove itself out in crash tests by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. So that's where you're going to have to kind of keep an eye on it. But I love the fact that they're putting it into these cars at these low price points so that safety that we know everyone needs is affordable.
Yeah, and to that point, you're talking about all the safety stuff that is standard. I think you like to say safety should be standard or something. Isn't that something you and Jen used to say?
Yep.
But it's more than just the safety system. I mean, that's awesome. But there's also the amount of features that this car has.
Yes.
At just barely over $26,000 as soon to be tested. We normally say as tested, but we haven't tested it yet. We're talking in this SV model at just over $26,000, automatic climate control, heated front seats, heated and wrapped steering wheel, wireless charging, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, dual 12.3-inch screens, and automatic high beams. I mean, that's a lot of content. Again, that other automakers might make some of those be optional. Right?
Yeah, and there are LED headlights across the entire line.
Yeah.
And then you could even add LED turn signals on the mirrors at a low price point as well. So a lot of either
a ton of content,
low cost options or standard features.
Yeah. Was there other things that you liked, or is that it?
That was like the cream right there. But I did also I was going to mention the heated seats and heated steering wheels. Yeah. Those are kind of like one of my deal breaker items. So I love
as a New Englander.
As a New Englander. Oh
yeah.
Gosh, that's weird being from
Mid-Atlantic.
the Mid-Atlantic to be a New Englander now. But
because there's no Central Jersey, as we know. So
listen, man, you know it's there.
Yeah. It's called a great adventure.
So the other thing that I liked is that it's kind of fun to drive. Like it's a little zippy, like, as you're handling curves and stuff like that. So I did find that part of it enjoyable as well. So I'm like, okay, you have this vehicle that most people are like, okay, well, it's, kind of towards the bottom of the barrel in terms of price point, which probably doesn't mean you're going to enjoy it. But I think you can. I think they did a good job with that.
You often see that cost cutting in some places where they're going to cut costs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be a louder car. It's going to be, it may not be a handler. It's designed for efficient transportation at a price point. And it is nice that it has some feedback to the steering. It has, I believe it has a multi-link rear suspension.
It does. Yeah.
So,
well, again, which is not always
common
here.
in that price point or in that small car, compact car category. It's not Nürburgring worthy.
It's pretty good though.
Even the SR, you're not taking it to your track days or, autocrosses, but it sticks well. It's fun to drive around, on ramps, off ramps, curvy roads. It has more of it's more towards a Honda Civic world than I think a Kia K4 world in the sense of fun to drive, or even close to like getting to the Mazda 3 level in the sense of tossability and enjoyment.
Totally agree. I think the handling is one of the best aspects of this car.
Yep.
What else were you liking, John?
So for the most part, a couple things that Nissan didn't redo. First of all, not a new platform and not a new powertrain is actually a good thing. They didn't go stick their crazy turbo 4-cylinder. It supposedly gets great fuel economy. It doesn't powertrain in there. It's like, this is fine. We changed the continuously variable transmission to have some shifts so it mimics a regular conventional automatic torque converter automatic better. Great. The rest of the engine worked fine. It didn't get earth-shattering fuel economy, but it wasn't a dog. It wasn't the bottom of the category. Leave it. Don't go and reinvent something you don't have to. Like we said, the handling it improved. They didn't go radical with it. They didn't reinvent all of the controls. Some of the controls they did, and we'll get to that. But most of the controls, manual gear selector, great. Normal buttons on the buttons on the steering wheel. Not touch surfaces, not sliders. I mean, the weirdest real stalks. The weirdest thing is they have that kind of. I say cockeye because it's in an angle, that angled little ball selector for things.
I was going to talk about that in my not likes.
Okay, but
you have to wait for
what
it.
I'm saying is like that's the most outrageous in the steering wheel controls. And it still is easy enough to use. It's not something like it's not something to redo it just for the showroom and everyone loves the touch and it's so exciting. So for the most part, kind of normal inside. Even with the manual seats, it's fine. Like simple stuff. And that's really good.
So what you like most about it is that it didn't change.
Well, you know what?
Is what you're telling me right
because
now.
sometimes
we see
the
so
change
much
is for the worse.
Well, I'm saying we see so much stuff that comes through. I mean, here, let's just talk about one of the previous podcasts, Audi A6. It's been out for like a coffee cup, a cup of coffee, and they've already updated the infotainment system. They've updated the infotainment system on all the cars that we just bought. Why was it not like this when you launched it? Why did you include touch-sensitive surfaces that you're now changing? So that's the point. Like, there's just so much change for change. We have to do it because Tesla did it. We have to do it because Lucid does it or Rivian. No, just be yourself and listen to your customers. Don't follow the herd. And I'm happy that they didn't follow the herd there on most controls.
Be your own person, Nissan. Don't join the bandwagon.
Yeah.
That's such a dad piece of advice.
I like the Sweet Johnny rants. I haven't been on with him in a while. I like it.
I know.
And let's stick with you. So unless you have more likes, I think you guys pretty much covered all of mine. If you're ready to move on to not likes, or do you have another couple likes?
A couple things. So again, they didn't make it a super swoopy cabin, so it's easy to get into. Even the back seat, you could get in
for a sedan.
It's not coupified, right? So you could get it. I'm becoming 5'11". I'm shrinking every year, but I could get into the back seat as a 6 foot, 5'11" inch person without having to severely duck my head. There's great foot room back there. There's decent leg room. Sure, under thigh support could be better, but it's a fine space. Yeah. It's a really nice looking, in my opinion, car that fits well and has a great price point.
Yeah. And what didn't you like?
Oh, God.
All right, buckle up. The rant's about to begin.
All right, let's
settle in. You can't even start it.
You want Emily to go first?
The climate controls in the SV, SR, and SL, they may look good and fancy in the showroom, and they may make people be like, oh, touch surfaces. Oh, that's so cool. I've seen that in more expensive cars. They are the stupidest things that I've seen in a long while from Nissan, and that includes the dumb buttons for the shifter, the gear selectors in a number of their vehicles, like the Leaf and the Armada and the Murano. Right. Those are bad. These are worse. You can't see them really well. They don't have much feedback except a little beep. So when you touch it and you're driving and you want to change the temperature, you don't know if you've actually hit it, and then you may have hit the wrong one. Then if you need to go into the deeper climate control, it's a tiny little button in the screen.
Yeah,
the
they're
screen's
really
12,
small.
It's like this big.
It's like 12.3
I have tiny
inches. You're like,
fingers,
how
and
do I-
it still feels like
Yeah,
very
and
much like
I said
a fine motor exercise.
I don't sit particularly far. I sit a little more like splay-legged close, like, you know, NASCAR style in a sense.
Yeah.
And I'm still too far from from there to just hit it. You have to look and hit the specific little thing. The seat heater controls are a mess. It's like they have a big screen and tiny little buttons. I don't know why.
I never
It's like that.
understand when manufacturers will have decent amount of real estate, but then I don't know. It's like Aladdin. He got the genie in a tiny little space. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
because
It's like we have a 4-inch screen, a 6-inch screen, and a 12-inch screen. We got to make it the same exact scale for all of them. I don't know, but it's bad in the Armada, it's bad in the Murano, and it's bad here. And it's really distracting and it's dangerous.
Totally, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Is that it's distracting and dangerous because you have to pinpoint so hard. Even for the other ones that aren't that super small menu button, you have to kind of really take focus to hit any of them. But especially, it's annoying that you have to hit that little button to then bring up the
regular
big climate menu so you can change the airflow mode, right? So those things are annoying, and it's just disappointing that they did that, right?
you're better off if you have a passenger who
To
can
do all the controls, yeah.
So it's like rally driving. You need a co-pilot.
You need a
basically.
co-pilot. Crossan and I were in the Sentra together for a really long time. The heat was like blasting. And I was just kind of like, do you want it like this? He's like, no, but I don't know how to change it. So as his passenger, I was like, great, let me figure it out and like try to, attack the tiny little buttons. But I didn't want him doing it.
Right.
One, I don't know, he would have like thumbed like 4 buttons at the same time. But also, he wouldn't be able
Mike
to
Smash, is that what you're saying?
Mike Smash. But he also wouldn't have been able to keep his eyes on the road.
Yeah.
So you need someone else to navigate your center screen
There's
for you.
nothing wrong with physical knobs and buttons.
And the base model has them.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
And that's the worst thing. It's like, oh, okay. So at least, unlike other, like maybe Subaru, for example, where the base model doesn't get certain safety features. Like, great, you can get the safety features. There's no reason except
But you
if you
shouldn't
don't like.
have to pick and choose.
You shouldn't. But like, totally encourage people to get the base model here. Like you could tell them, fine, you get 16-inch steel wheels instead of aluminum alloy. But you know what? The car looks the same. The only one with any kind of real body cladding is the SR anyway. Get the base model.
Yeah, and
it's
thankfully
got
here,
easy controls.
With the base model, you'll still get all the standard safety.
Exactly.
You'll just also have less distracting controls.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that the auto climate control does this, the heated seats. It puts like, oh, okay, it's this temperature, and I'll put it on 2. That's kind of cool. But if I wanted it on 3, then I'm.
Yeah. It changes on you too. The heated seats are also auto.
Right. That's
so you like that?
I like that it can do it.
I bet you don't like that.
I think if I remember reading the logbook correctly, you really didn't like that the car was deciding for you just how much heat you had in your seat.
I like that it does have the auto feature. I don't like the fact that it's so hard to change, and that's what it is. It's deciding for me, fine, but changing it is a real process. It's either up in the screen or it's down here. It's odd that the heated steering wheel button is over here, but I can live with that.
I hate that so much.
I can live with it, even though it looks a lot like the Nissan ProPilot Plus steering activation button at first. And I was like, wow, this is in this car, but it wasn't. It was the heated steering wheel.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like the car deciding for me.
Yeah, some people
because
don't like that.
I'm the kind of person who will have the heated seats on with the AC.
Right.
So like the heated seats serve a different purpose other than just warming the vehicle.
Right, and if it starts going from 3 to 2 to 1,
Yeah, I'm like,
without
where
you
did
telling it, you're like, why
where
is
did
it
my
doing
heating
that?
pad go? So I want it back on.
I feel like you have more.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure he does.
Well, you probably feel this way too. The wide center console.
Oh yeah, totally hems in my right knee. The one nice thing is that they have a very thin layer of vinyl there, so where your knee hits.
Yeah. So it's not like
it's better than hard plastic, which a lot of cars have, but it still is hemming in your right knee. Right,
I think that's part of an option package too.
No
so
question about that.
it's an added piece.
Oh, that
here's an added strip
is?
of comfort.
Is it really?
I believe so.
Oh
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I did like that it had that, but that there's no getting around that it is hemming in your right knee the whole time.
But there's no seam or anything weird though.
Exactly.
I mean, a number of cars they'll run a piece of stitching through the center of it, or vertically or horizontally. So at least you're not rubbing against something.
Right. My honestly, my biggest annoyance with the car is the very abrupt throttle delivery off the line. It's so hard to be smooth with it and you like have to concentrate so hard to not have it jump off the line. I actually took I stole a quote here from Professor Michael Crossan, Ryan, friend of the show, and he said, my biggest complaint is power delivery from a standstill. It takes a mental effort to be smooth, especially on a hill, or if you're either trying to set off very slow and smooth or with some power. Being front wheel drive, you can overpower the tires and they can spin. And I 100% agree with that. And it just jerks forwards every time unless you're so incredibly deliberate with the throttle. Nissan's not the only one to do this. A lot of automakers do this, especially in lower powered cars, because it gives that feeling of a little bit of zip off the line. But it's just annoying, and you hate to be jerking your passengers at all. And you shouldn't have to work very hard to make the car be smooth, right? It should be smooth.
It should be your job.
Smooth should be standard.
Oh, Lord.
What? It's a variation of your line.
I know, I see that. Good job, buddy.
Smooth and safe.
Smooth and safe.
Smooth, safe, and slick. That's your motto. And it's really a shame because the powertrain is great overall.
Otherwise, it's
fine. And it's great anytime once you're above 7 miles an hour or whatever. You know, once you're out rolling, it's great. So you talked about it. No hybrid.
Yeah.
It's not a rant about it. It's just more of a very obvious omission in a category that has a number of hybrids now.
Right.
So at 12,000 miles, at $2.90 average for regular fuel in Connecticut as of yesterday, it costs about $1,100 a year in gas to fuel it. Corolla hybrid and Elantra hybrid, Toyota Corolla, Hyundai Elantra, at 48 miles per gallon, according to our test numbers, $780 a year to fuel. Civic hybrid, Honda Civic hybrid at 44 miles per gallon, our test numbers again, about $870. The Hyundai Elantra hybrid blue is $25,450. So it's
comparable.
Are you writing this down?
Comparable in price. At EPA numbers, it's about $400 a year difference in fuel savings. Right. So in 5 years, that slightly more expensive car, Elantra, will pay for itself. Now that's a lot. That is a long time. I mean, a lot of people lease. You know, not everyone holds on to a car. I know fleet age is older, but not everyone holds on. But still, it's a miss for Nissan, and that's using their EPA and our numbers. Right. If you went and used the EPA numbers, it's a big difference in the sense of fuel economy there, and it's not a significant price difference. You know, the blue is just about $2,000 less than $2,000 more. I mean,
what I'm hearing is that you might think you're saving a lot of money, but in the end, you're really not. Right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
By buying the Sentra?
By buying the Sentra.
I mean, you're saving up front.
Right.
The initial
but
cost.
over time you could have put money in your pocket. And that's at low gas prices too. I mean, yes, the delta's always the same, but it's just the number could be going up if gas prices go up.
But I think also, right, Nissan has this vehicle that's intended for a certain market, right? And they're keeping it at a low price point. Mm-hmm. This is probably a demographic that is choosing this vehicle because they want an affordable car. And to then not also offer them the fuel economy savings with a hybrid, you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot a little bit here. Because if that's the demographic that you're targeting, they're going to want savings all around, right? And so that's what you should be giving them.
I mean, you have a regular Corolla, you have a regular Elantra, you have a regular Civic, they're a little less expensive, but they still get really good fuel economy and at or above in our test the Sentra. So that's a miss.
Yeah.
It is a miss. And where is Nissan? You see the insider baseball about where's Nissan in their company, and they're cutting and they're adding and this but where are they going to be developing a hybrid? Particularly since it seems, given legislation, given the whole entire market of pulling back on EVs, hybrids really are the big place for saving money.
And you at least want to give the customer the option, right? Mm-hmm. If they choose not to buy it, they don't have to. But if you had a regular Sentra and a Sentra hybrid, then they have those choices they can make on their own. They can look at the financials and figure it out for themselves. And also sometimes, of course, as we know,
hybrid makes up for some of that.
The hybrid powertrain quite often is nicer to drive, right? So, yeah. What about you for not likes?
So
I know you're a very positive person in general.
I'm negative?
I'm not saying. I'm just. We can look at the tape afterwards.
So my not likes, they're oddly specific.
That's okay.
So, for example, I felt like, well, yes, it was like this weird dichotomy in the car for me, anyways, where I feel like you got a lot of features that you might not get at other price points, and a lot of standard safety. But then there was also like this weird duality of like nice features, janky interior. It was just A lot of hard plastic.
Yep.
I think it really stood out to me when I went to go turn on the turn signal, and the stalk just like kind of made a weird like thunk. Like I had to put a lot of effort into it, and I was like, why is this like a hard thing to do? Like it just was like sticking a little bit extra, and so it just kind of stood out. Where I was like, on the other hand, though, right? I could put up with a little bit of a janky interior for all these other things, right? So like if that's where you're gonna cut the corner, that's fine for me. Like that's where the cost savings came in. It feels like a weird split to have nice things, but then also have very unnice things.
I think I understand what you're saying, which is sometimes like there actually are some more padded areas in the Sentra than some comparable cars. But I think where you're going is sometimes the parts that are still hard plastic can feel cheaper, right? So you know what I mean? Like there's levels of
like
hard plastic and how solid they feel.
And some of them feel really cheap.
So I totally get your point there.
I know we do the whole like what's good, what's bad. I will say running your hand inside a lot of the sills and stuff like that, really well finished.
You can't go back to what we like. We already did what we like.
Well, I was looking out when I was admiring the visibility out of the car, because I was stuck in traffic. So that was a bad event.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was just touching the surfaces because I just tend to do that. And, there aren't a lot of mold seams or anything like that. No sharp edges. We've seen in the Audi A6 or Audi A6 e-tron.
It wasn't that the
stuff
finishing
like that.
was poor.
Some elements just felt
some elements
surprisingly
felt
cheap
like
to you.
a low price point
I get
vehicle.
it. Totally
right?
get it.
Another thing that
if I could, but if it was that, and you also have to pay for safety, and you also have to pay for all this stuff, then it would have been unacceptable.
Yeah, no.
So at least they're cutting corners where it's okay.
Like, it felt like a disconnect, right? Because you have nice things in a not so nice environment. But if I was the person shopping for this car, I would totally take it still, right? Because you get all these nice features.
Yep.
So I have to put my kids' car seats in the back, and one of the things that I noticed is the Sentra has integrated head restraints in the rear seat, and they're pretty like forward protruding, which is great for an adult occupant who needs to be able to have adequate, whiplash protection. However, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to integrated head restraints. The love part is that the head restraint can't go away. So the challenge is that oftentimes with like forward-facing car seats, booster seats, you're going to have a gap between the car seat and the vehicle seat back because because head restraints could often push them forward. So you create this gap, you want them to be flush against each other. So many manufacturers will allow for you to remove the head restraint to get that compatibility. Problem is when people remove their head restraints, they're either going to like chuck it in the trunk or like just on the floor. Now it's a projectile, or they chuck it somewhere in their garage, never to be found again. Now your kids have outgrown that car seat. You need like, a child to sit there with the vehicle seatbelt, or you have an adult. You don't have head protection
They just forget to
anymore.
ever put it back in.
They forget to put it back. So I love the idea of an integrated head restraint for that reason.
Yep.
I hate them because it makes car seat installation really hard when you have forward-facing car seats. And there's nothing you can do other than try to
wrench it down as hard as possible.
Yeah, wrench it down as hard as you can, or really try to do the adjustments and get it flush as much as you can. Or you're just left with having to now install in a different seating position where, oftentimes that's the center, and the center can be really challenging to get a good installation. So that part was challenging. I wasn't able to get a good install. Thankfully, I didn't have to drive the kids, so I wasn't worried about how it was going to impact them. But I saw that it was going to be a challenge. So, for anybody who's going to have forward-facing car seats in a Sentra, my advice, as always, take your car seats to the dealership before you purchase the car. Try them out. Make sure you can get a secure fit. And then the other thing really is the noise.
Yeah.
This car was so noisy.
Yeah.
So noisy. I felt like I was driving around in a white noise machine, and it's just like incessant. Local roads, highway roads, all the roads.
Yeah. Like tire and wind noise particularly. Road noise.
Yeah.
So much.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of road noise I found coming from the rear seat area. Quite often the rear seat is not as well insulated as the front, but that kind of wafts forward. And so you hear a lot of that. Wind noise above like 70, 75 gets really quite loud. The engine's okay. I mean, it never sounds good, but it doesn't also sound terrible, right? So
Maybe you can't tell from all the other noise, though.
Well, that's true. The CVT, the simulated upshifts, help to keep revs down a little bit. But like I was noticing, like 70 on the highway, you can always hear the I don't know why I'm pointing backwards, because it's a rear engine.
It's a rear engine going that fast. Yeah,
it's just sitting over your shoulder.
There's always some level of hum that you're hearing. But
it's kind of, I mean, it's a given. It's a given in this class.
Like mainstream compact cars.
Once you get to 70, even with the CVT,
Yeah.
you're kind of pinning. It's working hard.
Yep. I didn't love the front seat. I don't know how you guys were with it. I thought that the bottom cushion didn't have much bolstering, and you can't tilt the leading edge of the seat up and down. Again, not uncommon for this price, but I wish that I could have done that. And then the seat back has really nice bolsters, but they were too tight for me, and so I felt like kind of squished in the whole time. So it just wasn't that comfortable for me. I don't know. Did it work okay for you guys?
Do you have like a lot of like Christmas, New Year's eating?
No, I thought it was just I'm getting really ripped.
You're buffed? Oh, okay.
I'm not. No. I think it was Christmas and New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving.
Yeah, didn't have that problem.
It's not bike season. So
You're calling me fat.
I didn't say anything. I have no commentary on this portion.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
it's funny. The seats, so they have kind of that zero gravity thing, that Nissan zero gravity seat that we talked about in previous podcasts. So a lot of people found it firm underneath, but has almost like a little cushion on top, like a mattress topper on top of it. It's soft. The pocket felt okay for me. The seat, the bottom cushion pocket, I totally agree with you. The inability to raise and lower the front, even if it had a wheel, like a manual, I
got no problems with those wheels.
Yeah, because you could dial
the old seat back wheel things that Volkswagen used to always have, because you can get
fine tune
infinite, like the smallest amount you want. Why am I talking about that? That's not even in this car. But anyway, that's it. I love those wheels. Bring the wheels back.
Bring the wheels back.
Bring the manuals back. Bring the seat back wheels back. Save the wheels.
The seat back, I know in our logbook, the seat back, definitely. The seat's got mixed reviews, but it's a highly personal thing.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
It worked for me. I think that these seats are actually better than the SR for some reason. It could be the material.
I thought they worked a little better for me than the SR as well.
The SR that we borrowed.
Yep. All right, so let's kind of wrap this up, and I'm going to put a question to you guys. Emily, we'll start with you. Do you think the Sentra savings compared to other cars like make it worth it, or would you advise someone to buy a different car, maybe even go up a level higher, spend a few $1,000s more? What would you advise someone on as far as the Sentra?
It's hard because, I love having a hybrid. So I love having like the fuel economy savings, but then I also want to make sure that you're getting the most amount of safety as possible. I would say that compared to its peers, the Sentra does a really good job at giving you those standard safety systems and nice features. So I would say that it's worth it in that regard to go ahead and do that, because even something like the K4 and the Civic, they don't have standard blind spot warning and rear cross traffic warning.
Right.
The Corolla does, but I think you get a lot of bang for your buck with the Sentra. And so for somebody who's looking, they need a lower price point vehicle, maybe they need to get a car for, a kid going off to college or something, right? At least you're setting them off with standard safety features, things that are going to help them out on the road, avoid a crash, protect them in a crash, and you can have that peace of mind. In that way, I would say, go ahead, get it. It's a good choice.
Okay. John, what about you?
I think that it's a tough category because everything is really down to price. Now, really the only small cars out there. It's even more, it's challenging for buyers. What I would say with the Sentra is it's totally in that line, whereas at one point in its life, Sentra may have been kind of like a second tier. Oh, you're going to get a Corolla or Civic. It's right up there as a competitor. At one point, the previous generation was one of our top 4 or top 5 rated small cars. It's a big category. So for me, it's certainly safety. Do the math. What would it cost to get blind spot? What would it cost to get rear cross traffic warning? Then also let's look, the fuel economy. If you're driving highway all the time, okay, hybrid isn't as advantageous. If it's all urban, city, small rural, suburban commuting and driving, the hybrid's going to really help a lot. And it may just be worth it to go and just pony up the money up front and get one of the hybrids. So for me, it's a total math thing, but it doesn't exclude. There's no reason to ignore the Sentra, and it's handsome. I am not a fan of the looks of the K4, the interior of the K4. It's just like I would push that one aside for the most part. So yeah, it's a good solid player.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the Mazda 3. Now you'll have to spend a couple more $1,000, a couple extra $1,000 to get it versus the Sentra. It's still, I think, if the handling's a little bit better. I'm just impressed with how good the Sentra's handling is because it's not far off the Mazda 3. I think the Mazda 3 talks to you a little more as a, it's speaking to the driver through the steering a little bit better and the suspension. But you're also, what I really think I like about it is that, I care about driving and the environment, right? So the driving, I think the Mazda's a little bit better. It also has a real conventional automatic, not a CVT.
And you could get a manual thing, I think.
Yeah,
still.
and the interior is nicer, right? So you were talking about the interior feeling a little cheap at times. Mazda has come such a long way with their interiors, and it's going to be definitely going to be a little bit quieter. So I think there's some real benefits to going with the Mazda. And if you really like driving for the sake of driving, I think you'll enjoy the Mazda more. But
I think the infotainment system's a little more maddening.
The infotainment system. But maybe climate a little bit better.
Yep.
But
trade-offs.
And I will say too that Mazda will have all of the standard safety features that we think that the vehicle should have. I mean, the Mazda.
So you agree with my choice? I accept your apology.
I didn't know I was apologizing. What am I apologizing for?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so we do have a first drive of the Sentra SR that we borrowed up on our website, consumerreports.org, written by one Jonathan Q. Linkove, Esquire, I believe.
Yeah, that's
or something.
My wife's the Esquire, but that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move.
I have more questions about the Q.
It's his middle name.
Quirky.
So now we're going to move on to the audience question section of the show, or segment of the show. I don't know why I call it a segment. So send those questions, comments, videos to talkingcars@icloud.com. And don't forget, if you send one of those in and we use it on the show, you can get some CR swag sent to you. So that's a real big benefit to sending in an amazing question that producer Dave thinks is worthy of being on the show. And guess what? This week, Sean is so worthy of being on the show because he has a really interesting topic to talk to us about. So let's watch the clip from Sean.
Hey, Talking Cars. I had a question about water bottles. It seems like every day we're getting bigger and bigger bottles, and I myself have fallen into the trend. This is a half-gallon size. My curiosity is, where do we store bottles while driving? I feel like this could be a projectile, could hurt someone, especially if you're drinking and you get in a crash, could cause severe fractures or injuries. Also, side note, I ended up answering a former question. I ended up buying a 2018 Subaru Crosstrek with all the bells and whistles. It's been a great car. Thank you, Jen, for suggesting it. You will be missed. Also, I still have the Highlander. So thank you all for all you've done over the years. Appreciate it.
All right, so Sean is talking about those big old reusable water bottles, and also he says he misses.
Is that yours?
I feel it. I mean, Sean, I'm right there with you, man. It's
Looks like you finished all your water today too.
I
Good
did.
job.
It was we had a long commute because of snow.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to go through all
It
this.
was a long drive.
Fortunately, I didn't have to use it on the back end. But yeah, these things are hard to fit in cup holders, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he said his was like a half a gallon.
Something like that.
I didn't even know they made him that big.
Well, I mean,
anyway, what's your thought here? What's your solution or answer for Sean, John? Or are you just going to go off on another Sweet Johnny rant?
I think it's rant time. I mean, look, this size is perfect for most cup holders.
Right.
The German cars still don't get it, but like most cup holders, because I've destroyed my wife's cup holders, the little holders popped out. It's like 20 something ounces. I mean, the same thing.
Like show and tell. My
It's like
goodness.
the same thing. The same thing. Like these coffee cups. Going to those giant ones, and I think that we had a discussion in the pre-production meeting. It's like, these are things people carry around in gyms. I don't, unless you're out in the field,
be out in
all
the desert.
day. Well, I'm saying, like, you could be on a work site where there's no water fountain or anything like that to fill up.
That's fair.
I mean, and I get that, but those aren't necessarily like in-car fluid consumption vessels.
That is the longest way to just say a water bottle.
Like big mouths, and like maybe it has a straw, but it's like those are maybe
that didn't look like it had a straw.
They're destination use. So like throw the seatbelt buckle through the handle.
It could be his buddy in the front seat. You're saying just have it next to you.
It could be a buddy.
In.
Like place it on the back of the seat. Put a bag in front of it. Buckle it in. I mean, I buckle in my laptop bag every day at work. In work, just on the drives in. put it in the footwell in the back. I mean, yes, it becomes a projectile, I guess, but like it's less of a projectile if it's in the footwell behind the driver's seat. I mean, that has to do a lot of work to get around to the front. It's just not meant for the car.
So stop it, is what you're saying. Stop it. Just
Stop it, Sean.
Get a Camelback for goodness sake if you need that much water. Like put it on the front, and run the seatbelt under it. Run the seatbelt under it, and then
It's still going to interfere with your seatbelt.
It might interfere with the airbag, but like have the spout
Lord.
right here. Like if you need
Next year,
that
I
much
tell people to have like those hats
Okay.
beer helmet.
So
for water.
John says stop it.
Because no beer in the helmet.
John's
I said
answer
beer
is stop
helmet,
it.
but
What's
stop it.
your answer for Sean?
And Sean, it's basically the same answer. Like, that is a huge water bottle. So, yes, the immediate things that I think of as he shows it to us and tells us his story, yes, Sean, that will be a projectile in a crash. And it makes me think of, remember in Home Alone when Kevin drops the brick out the window onto Marvin's face?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to you, Sean. Like, it's going to be bad. You're going to hit in the head with a large object. And, people might be tempted because we see this a lot with it's not just that half-gallon thing, right? Like there's all these giant Stanleys and there's just a lot of giant water bottles that people are carrying around now. You might be tempted to get those, cup holder expanders from like, Amazon or whatever. And the advice is always, don't put third-party objects into your vehicle. Like don't add onto your car. You don't know how well they're going to stay put in a crash. You don't know how well they're going to actually secure your water bottle, right? It's not part of the vehicle. So I wouldn't recommend trying to get some sort of expander that's now going to hold your half-gallon water bottle.
To your user words, probably janky.
I mean, yeah, it'll definitely be janky. So really, I would say if you must carry around this behemoth bottle or things similar to it, your best bet is to put it into like your cargo area in a bin or the underfloor storage because you don't want that to be flying around in a crash. And, you could try tucking it under a footwell, but you don't know when your crash is going to happen and what impact direction it's going to be. So how it's going to move in a crash is not like we can predict that either.
Yeah, and a rollover, all things are...
Right. So there's no way to predict what scenario you're going to be in, which is why it's just better off to keep it somewhere secured, put it in a bag, put it in the cargo area, people have like bins that they keep in their cargo area to just secure all their items, or a lot of them now come with these underfloor pockets where you can store stuff. Do that.
Yeah.
Just don't have it rolling around in the car with you. And don't be drinking out of it while you're driving.
Well, I think what we don't know is, was Sean using that for his drive? Was it a long drive, or was he planning on, did he have it with him because he needed it for wherever he was going for the day? That's what we don't know. Obviously, right. So I mean, if he puts it in the trunk, well, now he can't drink anything, right? But
I got a coupon code for a bottle if he needs.
There are smaller options available.
100%. But so
if I could jump in,
please.
All kidding aside, like there are a lot of cars, a lot of vehicles with tiny bottle holder pockets in the doors. They had like, we have all 4 doors have bottle holders, and then you realize that it's for a bottle about this tall, about that far around because it's wedged in underneath the panel with the controls and the window stuff and everything. So it's not really useful. So then you are forced to go back to sticking it in the cup holder. Remember, it's called cup holder.
Yeah.
So there it certainly is an issue. It's available, but it's not really useful. So with a more moderately sized bottle, it still could be a problem. Even one of the ones I was joking about.
Do you guys want my opinion? You're like,
so we're good,
really.
Right?
No, we really don't. So
are you going to agree with me?
This is where we wrap up the show.
As a country, we are overhydrating. That's my personal opinion. As a Juilliard-trained medical doctor, I think I can speak to that. Okay.
Yes.
But
all
so
the people
thing is, we
coming
do
out of
need,
Juilliard
we do
are
need
practicing medicine.
Absolutely.
Today.
Was that a mail order degree, or did you actually go online?
We do need to drink water, but you don't need to be drinking water constantly. And I will say these reusable water bottles quite often seem to rattle and make noise. So when people get into the car with me and they have these, they inevitably, most people annoy me anyway, but when they bring these reusable
You're really
mutual feelings, mutual, Monty.
And it's rattling around, it's annoying me. And you don't need to drink a lot of water. You don't need to be drinking water, chugging water on the way to work, right? You can drink when you get there. You don't have to be drinking constantly. I think we've taken it overboard. Hydrating is important, but it's not all day, constantly. That's my rant for the day, okay?
You're not in Instagram or TikTok, are you?
No, why? Are they gonna?
Yeah.
It's very important to
Hydration
hydrate.
is very important.
Hydration is very important. And
Again,
Especially as a cyclist.
Juilliard trained medical doctor,
Yes.
me or you?
As a cyclist,
Yeah.
like
Well, so here's the thing. I will say we got to wrap this show up. But when you drink too much water, you actually push the good stuff right through. You need to keep stuff in your body. If you're drinking so much that you're
Flushing out
it out all the
electrolytes.
time, that's actually not good. You don't actually want to drink. You can drink too much water.
can.
Is what I'm saying. And if you're using one of these annoying water bottles, you're going to annoy me. That's it.
so
That's it.
bring it back to Sean.
shouldn't ride with you.
Who?
Sean.
Oh no.
No. Okay.
So yeah, Sean, your bottle's too big. It's not meant to be used.
Use a smaller version. Use a smaller version that fits
Stow that one
securely. That fits
safely.
securely in either the door a bottle holder or the center console cup holder.
Right.
Make sure that it's going to be secure. And
Belt your 32-gallon water bottle into the seatbelt.
Yeah,
Or in a bag and then belt that in.
I think that's it for this show.
Yes.
Okay, no more rants.
Okay.
So if you want to learn more about the topics and the cars that we talked about, you can click on the links in the show notes. Don't forget to send those questions, comments, video clips to talkingcars@icloud.com. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.